The truth is, Penacony is being accused of theft.
A big con has taken effect, and the City of Dreams has come to collect. You've been sold an empty dream, where fool's gold is all you'll redeem. Arise, O sleeper! Your future is at stake. Reality beckons. It's time to wake.
Detective Life here. There have been some pretty serious accusations against Penacony, and it's my job to find out if Penacony is guilty. Penacony is known as the planet of festivities and the realm of dreams, where the impossible can become possible. Like touching grass! So in a place seemingly too good to be true, there are those who believe that Penacony is hiding something. And no, I'm not talking about the family, or the murders, or talking clocks, or this guy being 13.
I'm 13.
Stay with me here. Penacony's dream is being accused of stealing the future of all who enter. Join me as we discover the truth about Penacony. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, please subscribe. While you're down there, feel free to like and comment as well. This really helps support the channel and it helps me provide more content like this. Thank you, and let's get back to it. Our case takes place in Penacony, a colossal structure located in the Yazdana system, with the soaring hotel, the Reverie, as its iconic landmark. Once a frontier prison belonging to the Interastral Peace Corporation, the family has modeled it to serve as an interstellar transportation hub and the gateway to the sweet dream paradise. A self-described magnificent metropolis. Here, anything is supposed to be possible, except death. Talk about a loophole. Here, all your dreams can become reality, and you can be a totally new person. Perhaps the person you've always dreamed of being, but never did. In Penacony, dreams become reality, and reality, well, in the words of Firefly,
the nightmarish past will disperse and fade away like bubbles in water, and the future that you don't want to face will never come.
Witness the impossible in the realm of dreams. Find the legacy of the Watchmaker, father of Penacony, and thus the answer to the question, why does life slumber?
This was a question written on the invitation letter to Penacony. This question can be answered in many different ways depending on who you ask. However, we're going to go with what Firefly said.
Why do people choose to sleep? I think it's because they're afraid to wake up from the dream.
Therein lies the root of the allegations. Penacony is hiding something. This seems to be the general sentiment. They say that its true nature is a wolf in sheep's clothing, that in actuality it's extorting its residents. For on the surface, Penacony appears to be an escape from people's issues, but there are those who claim that in doing so, people are losing their grip on reality, and as a result, their futures in the real world are being taken away. Today we're going to investigate these claims and see if Penacony really is stealing the future of its residents. We each devise our means of escape from the intolerable. William Styron, American novelist. Merriam-Webster defines escapism as a habitual diversion of the mind to purely imaginative activity or entertainment as an escape from the reality of routine. Google defines it as a tendency to seek distraction and relief from unpleasant realities, especially by seeking entertainment or engaging in fantasy. Like any good detective, we're going to need to discover some clues to get to the truth. Fortunately, I have a few leads that are bearing fruit, so without further ado, let's have a look at our first clue. Bars. That is what the young people say, isn't it? Let's see what we have here. Ah, a couple of quotes.
Why does life slumber?
And one more. Closing your eyes isn't going to change anything. Nothing's going to disappear just because you can't see what's going on. In fact, things will even be worse the next time you open your eyes. That's the kind of world we live in. Keep your eyes wide open. Only a coward closes his eyes. Closing your eyes and plugging up your ears won't make time stand still. A quote by Haruki Murakami from Kafka on the Shore. Not that Kafka, this Kafka. This quote in response to Firefly's statement encapsulates the hidden dangers of the realm of dreams. Now, before we throw pitchforks at the person delivering this quote, let's take a moment and think about what's being said here. Let's consider a scenario. Imagine you're a soldier on a battlefield and you were to apply Firefly's method, or perhaps you're in a dysfunctional marriage. Neither of these scenarios are pleasant or desirable to be in. However, attempting to escape the scenario that you're in would only lead to worse outcomes. For the soldier, escaping could lead to multiple bad outcomes such as losing the fight, endangering your fellow soldiers, and being haunted by your guilt for the rest of your life. For the person in a dysfunctional marriage, escaping could lead to its own share of bad outcomes, including but not limited to fights, infidelity, and mental turmoil. I think we can safely say that escapism has its share of drawbacks, but is that all there is to this case? Why don't we look at clue number 2? So it seems we have another quote. Oh, and a rather significant one at that. J.R.R. Tolkien states in response to critics of escapism in Escape In on Fairy Stories. Evidently, we are faced by a misuse of words, and also by a confusion of thought. Why should a man be scorned if, finding himself in a prison, he tries to get out and go home? Or if, when he cannot do so, he thinks and talks about other topics than jailers and prison walls? The world outside has not become less real because the prisoner cannot see it. In using escape in this way, the critics have chosen the wrong word, and what is more, they are confusing, not always by sincere error, the escape of the prisoner with the flight of the deserter. Here we get a totally different lens on the idea of escapism. Perhaps it's not the boogeyman that many have claimed it to be. Tolkien presents that escaping from a bad situation is justifiable, but that it is not the same as deserting or neglecting one's duties. It would appear that the motive plays a large role in how we differentiate the two. The husband or wife neglecting their spouse would surely be very different than the family going on vacation.
Well, adventures are exhilarating, but rest and recuperation is equally important.
Both are attempting to escape their current situation, but for very different reasons. Oftentimes, we see this in our own lives where we collectively misuse terms to serve our own means. So what can we take from all this? In other words, what's the life lesson here? I'd like to return to our quote near the beginning. We each devise our means of escape from the intolerable. William Styron, American novelist. I believe this calls for a nuanced approach. Murakami isn't wrong in saying closing your eyes and plugging up your ears won't make time stand still, but it's not true that nothing will change, because life is more than physical happenings. It's also about the mental and spiritual experiences we have. Thought precedes action in most cases, and as a result, the non-physical affects the physical. When we stop to think and meditate before acting or reacting, we change our reality. Sometimes an escape from chaos is what keeps someone from a mental breakdown or worse. Of course, this isn't the same as neglecting to face reality, which would be harmful. If your goldfish or your dog needs to eat, and you decide you're too tired or you're distracted, that is where escapism turns into desertion. As J.R.R. Tolkien put it, I don't know what's in Firefly's heart, nor do I know her motive, but I would encourage her as someone who is all too familiar with degenerative disease and long stays in a medical bed, don't neglect reality, because the issue at hand will only get worse unaddressed. Escapism, like most things, isn't inherently bad, but if misused can become something else entirely. Desire turns to greed, attraction turns to lust, and confidence turns to pride. In the same way, escapism can become neglect. We all have different means of escape, whether it be fishing, reading, gaming, talking with friends over coffee or tea, sports, etc. It's when they're used as a replacement rather than a reprieve that we can run into problems. That includes galactic baseballing. Now, there are definitely unhealthy ways of escaping, including but not limited to drug abuse, alcoholism, gossip, stress eating, to name a few, but that's a topic for another time. The life lesson quote for today comes from King Solomon, commonly known as the wisest man on earth. Proverbs 25:16. If you find honey, eat only what you need. Otherwise, you'll get sick from it and vomit. Put simply, all things should be done in moderation. It's best to avoid extremes. When life feels like it's too much to handle, or even if you just want to relax, take the time you need, but be wary of overindulging, for it's the bitterness of life that helps you notice the sweet, the ordinary that highlights the super.
And when everyone's super, no one will be.
Escapism isn't inherently bad, but if done for the wrong reasons and in excess, it can lead to issues down the road. It appears Penacony isn't guilty, and the residents' futures are in their own hands. The land of dreams is extortion-free. For now. If you feel that you have been using escapism in a negative manner or outright neglecting your issues, similar to what was described here today, I would like to encourage you that it is possible to overcome this habit, and you can escape the pull of neglect. How, you ask? Why, that's the next mystery.
Check out the next video as Detective Life solves his next case and reveals the life lesson.
Take heart, my friends, for I have a hint regarding the next case. The first clue to unveiling this mystery is hidden in the words of Firefly from her secret place. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you all who came to watch the video. Thank you for those who stayed till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I presume you did. You stayed till the end. I just wanted to give you guys some quick updates. So first of all, this is the Life Lessons series. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm happy we finally got the first video out to you all. This is just the first of many. On top of that, this is something that I had not really seen done in this space, and I just wanted to kind of add my own kind of unique flair, I guess you could say, to this space. So I am very excited about it, but I also want to let you all know this video is a Honkai Star Rail video. However, we're going to be doing Wuthering Waves primarily going forward. Now, if there's enough interest in, just specifically Star Rail for whatever reason, I'm definitely not opposed to doing more videos like this for Star Rail, but I just wanted to let you all know that we were doing this video with Star Rail just because the game's out and there were some interesting topics that I thought were brought up in this Penacony story. So it provided room for some discussion. Going forward, as I said, we are going to be doing Wuthering Waves, and I have one more announcement that I wanted to share with you all. We're going to be doing some giveaways. So if you are not following me on, Twitch, if you're not subbed to YouTube channel, so forth, so on, please do that. The bigger my channel, the more effectively we can, continue to do things like that. So I would definitely appreciate it. I'll be, like I said, letting you all know some of that information later on. But all in all, thank you again. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace. Hey, you. Do the thing.